Average year, the money printer goes, call it 8 to 10%. And the average return on the S&P 500 is 9-ish%. All of the value created there is actually the money printer.
The financials are really at risk here, the most since 2008.
Fire! Bank of America's sell signal was just triggered, but honestly, you guys, I think 2026 is going to be a good year. And look how amazing silver and gold did in 2025. For those of you that listened, were accumulating years before. I was telling everyone, I'm like, buy the China stuff. You're going to like it. And then I took profit and everyone's like, you're not supposed to do that. The Bank of America is warning. I mean, you guys could be down 2%. I know. Man the lifeboats. And I was just watching this professor talk about, shocked to realize after 25 years of teaching that the S&P 500 actually returns 0%. Truth is, when you go back and you look, I know, recency bias, market can go down. Yeah. Yes, Jared, quite a bit. Not just that, you could have 30 years and it's like you go from bad to 0%. Then you could have some good times and bad times. But then what people do not take into consideration is that inflation thing. Here's the big kicker. Here will be the stock market next year. This is December, we're going to have Santa's coming to town. January probably not be so good. And then we go up and then we go down. And you're like, yeah, I'm up a little bit. And what people don't understand is you have to work. I'm not talking your job. You shouldn't be working jobs. You should be buying assets that go up in value or buying assets that you put people in them. And then they pay down the said asset and then you don't have to pay taxes so much either. Or you defer. And weeks ago when the market was doing this, I'm like, yeah, Santa's coming soon. Got to get in all those buybacks, and then it goes up. I come here with warnings saying behind the scenes, when this thing goes, you don't want to be holding. You absolutely need to know where the sell button is when U.S. private credit defaults broaden. And this is a multi-trillion-dollar sector. This rises to 5.7, and you're like, it's covered in red. For that, I'm sorry, I will change it, but you're also looking at a jump from 7 to 9. Everything seems to be jumping. But more specifically, unemployment, that's going to be popping. This guy's going to tell you everything's great. Do you guys have a hard time listening to politicians? I know I do. The labor secretary downplays warning signs, insists job market is strengthening despite rising unemployment. Michigan survey sees current conditions in America. This is the worst in 50 years. So please do not believe everything that these people say. All right, let's play a game here. Every time, now I like this again. I would vote for this guy again because it's usually Trump versus Satan. You're like, who are you going to vote for? Okay, Trump. Listen to when he talks about how great everything is, and I'll chime in. I'll push a button. Call it my BS button. Go ahead.
We're seeing a wage increase of $1,300.
Okay, that was factory workers.
For construction workers, it's $1,800. For miners, we're bringing back clean, beautiful coal. It's $3,300. And for the first time in years, wages are rising much faster than inflation. Very importantly, there are more people working today than at any time in American history. And 100% of all jobs created since I took office have been in the private sector. I've secured a record-breaking $18 trillion of investment into the United States, which means jobs, wage increases, growth, factory openings, and far greater national security.
The truth is, you guys, you're hurting. Now let's circle back because I happen to be in a bank. No, I'm not in Chase right now. I'm in Bank of America. The next banking crisis, it's here. Behind the scenes, we have low bank reserves, 08. We currently have repo market stress, 08. I'd like to talk about CRE, the commercial real estate, where people bought it for 10, 20 trillion and they sell it for $5, and how the banks want to move around the digits in their back end. That's up to them, but I know they're hurting. You have Jamie Dimon, who, 350 billion? Like moving that around. Oh, hey, where'd your liquidity go? Like you're going to have to lower rates while Japan, through the roof, Does this not signal maybe we have some problems? It's like, well, when is this going to hit Bitcoin? When is this going to, I don't know. I follow charts. There is like a single bank even left standing. The small, mid-size with CRE, this is all hitting their now. Beginning of 2026, it'll look like SIVB all over again. And we actually took advantage of that. I know that it was going to go to zero. I didn't, but we all shorted it in the 300s. Oh, so let's also take a look at banks' balance sheets. Yeah, not looking too good. I'd say they're all struggling. This chart, you want to see this, you know, anything like that. I'll even take that. This is like everyone's current unrealized losses in Bitcoin, because you're like, I don't have to click sell. Well, at some point, you're going to have to click the button. And at some point, these banks are going to have to click the button. What they're waiting for is yields to come down. But when you look at the charts, I'm like, I just don't see it. I get the macro and the disinflation, deflation, which you'll never experience that. You'll forever work that job and go, dang, why is it so expensive? And they'll tell you that they've stopped inflation. I know Donald Trump has said it's stopped actually going down. It's not. It just went up 100%, and now it's only 3%. It's not even, come on. So much fraud in the numbers. They're like, look, it looks like the Epstein files. Same time, they're printing bonds like crazy. If you think it's America, guys, look at this. Look at US. Here's US money printer, go burr. China's just going nuts. At the time, the Fed is like, okay, we'll buy the bonds. Your bank first buys them. And all I'm seeing is just a repeat of history. Now the question is when? I don't know. So don't trade that way. I don't know how these guys do it. You know, they look at the macro and they're like, okay, wager your bets. Good luck. I would have been short this market for years. Here is something else I don't do. And I would have lost so much money on Bitcoin this year, but I didn't. I had all of you run for the exits in October. You are welcome. You took profit. Now we're going to have a buying opportunity. But like, look at liquidity, credit, money, M1, M2, M15. It's all through the roof. Bitcoin usually follows. It doesn't, but don't look at that. And if I were to have listened to Raul, was this 2024? Hold on. What did they say? The Fed needs to print 7 to 8 trillion. The Fed doesn't print 7 to 8 trillion. And every time I read things like that, I feel like I have to explain. All they do is they create a reserve and then they swap a bond. Okay, if they're going to do 8 trillion, whatever that means to the market, brother, you're not bearish. You're actually mentally deficit. Liquidity decides everything. Well, it didn't. But let's listen to a video that's probably at least a year old.
Here's the interest payments. The interest payments are what are getting monetized. And so total liquidity just follows the interest payments. So that chart tells you we've got around $7 or $8 trillion that we need to print just to cover the interest payments over the next 12 months into the end of 2026, when things calm down a little bit for a while. And this is the reason why the Fed are trying to get rates down, or the Treasury are begging the Fed to get rates down, because they need to get rates down to the level of GDP growth, which is, let's say right now it's about 3%, 2.5% trend rate. They're going to have to get rates down to that, because if not, that number keeps compounding, because GDP is the economic activity by which you pay the debts.
To summarize, I don't know, buy Bitcoin. Okay, we got to drive liquidity. Liquidity goes up, M1, M2, and so does Bitcoin. No, it doesn't. I mean, even looking at this chart, global money supply is out of control, 45 quadrillion. It's off China, and that's who's going to be buying Bitcoin. No. Here's another one. Bitcoin has never been this undervalued against global liquidity. And I have to give it to you. It definitely followed. Not so much anymore. So this could be a really good chart to say, hey, you need to buy. So people will go with causation, correlation. You shouldn't do it. Banking crisis, reserve, like all this. And like, well, there's Bitcoin. Or how about this? Or how about no one's running to treasuries anymore? Look, look at everyone's gold. Everyone's leaving the dollar. Everyone's not holding treasuries. Not true. Also, for the last month and a half, it looks like Bitcoin is just The dollar. There's some pretty lame swings, right? It's going to go here. Oh, it already went there. Also, Bitcoin is still sitting, it's still farting around in the same spot. Let me try drawing this. Yeah, that'll kind of work. I was too lazy to draw the flag. Here's your flag. You're still in the same thing. See, there's your pole. There's your pennant. There's your flag, America. Even in this regression trend, you're below it. You're below a trend line. You're below everything. This is December. Golly Wally, man, oh man, Bitcoin, make sure, okay, are you guys going to accumulate or are you going to be scared? Because, the market's down. My tummy doesn't feel right. I think a level for you to accumulate would be 75,000. You're not that far. That's going to be my first price target. I'll buy a few of them. And you don't got to trade it. And then your next price target, I'll show you. This price range, right? Like that's pretty good. I would take that zone. What are you guys looking at? The 50s, 56, like that's okay. You're gonna find some support there. So if you don't know what I'm talking about, get this. It's $2.99. The price of a Christmas present. It's cheaper than this or this thing there, right? How much are these? Like 400? I don't even know. I want to buy it. Come on. Great marketing though. What if I just click the buy button up there? There you go, Bravo. How much? $400. Mine's $2.99. And see, that doesn't shoot money out the bottom. Will also go down in value. When you're scrolling through the internet and you see something like this, you got to go, yep, that makes sense. That's Bitcoin. This person puts it at 50. Only problem is this, if you're just waiting for there, it may never show up. One, you could trade it every day. I don't know. It's hard to trade that every day. I definitely, NASDAQ, easy peasy. Also on the NASDAQ, big picture, I just, look, you guys have this triangle. Do you guys see it? I can see it. It's going to break one way or the other on that. I know it hasn't happened. I know. Wait. While you're doing this, you're taking swing trades and you're making money. Some of you guys called out my student. Okay, so a student's going through the course and it's one-on-one. Every day he's profitable. He used to be, it was like $1,500, $1,800, $2,500 a day. And you guys are like, that seems a little ridiculous. I'm like, okay, you can't make so much. This is the honest to God truth. Like, let's keep it around the 500 range. Now he barely takes any losses, and I see in the comments, this doesn't seem realistic. Where's his losses? Well, you'll look at how many trades he does. Now I'm like, okay, show people losses, which it happens. Beat down, put in right here, you short it. Purple. You got, it's going to flip. It's going to flip. So you got to get ready. Boom, you're out. And then on this one, you're like, okay, we're going to go. You're going to take a loss on this, but the other ones are not. Here, I'll show you. It beat down. Oh, now we drop below. You close it. But now you're like, okay, nope, we're going back up. So it was like a small loss. Now let's ride this up. Here we go. Here we go. And close it. What you need to understand, yes, there are losses. I'm just going from here to here. What is this? 42 times 20. Around $600. Call it a day. While the world presents you with banking crises, 50 years of horrible, that's current conditions. Banks buying gold, not so much treasury. There's always going to be treasury buyers. It'll be the Fed, and they create a reserve. It's nothing. It's in the bank. It's a nothing. It doesn't do anything. And then they swap the bond that your bank bought, and your bank will always buy them. We got to keep this train going. So while that's all going, you're like, made $400, made $200, lost $50, made $600, did AI. And for me, I'm killing it. Tomorrow I will go into my numbers in Satchel. I'll just scroll down and you'll go like, why is it out of 100? I just picked the one. I don't know, Bob. It just seems that cloud just seems to follow you. With that, make your digits go up. I love you. Enjoy this weekend and let's get trading in, well, about 12 hours.